It's fantastic. I believe I can do it.
This is the target. Everybody's in the sport to win.
If you want to go right round the world, you build one of these cars.
This is Tony Delahunty welcoming you to day 2 of the FIA World Championship from Finland, round 10, with the Finnish Midlands playing host to the teams and the fans. And with only 4 rounds to go, the series leaders will not be taking it easy. The picturesque settings of lakes and trees belies the tough nature of the stages to come. Clear blue skies greeted the surviving cars at the start of leg 2, and the crews heading south facing more than 14 hours on the road. The running order of the day, as you see it there: Gronholm, then Kankkunen, Britain's Burns, then Radstrom, Mäkinen, Oriol, Rovanperä, Sainz, McRae, and Delacour completing that. Well, on only the 3rd rally of the year, Peugeot were impressive. Marcus Gronholm was out first and posting quick times, but as first on the road he faced the worst of the loose gravel, making the conditions slippery. The leading cars would help sweep the stages clear, leaving the following cars more grip. We'll go in car with Marcus Gronholm. Marcus shone here in 97 and 98 with Toyota, and his knowledge of the stages was proving valuable. The question was, could he hold on to his lead with such a formidable lineup to follow? At the end of stage 13, he had set a time of 1 hour, 48 minutes and 15.4 seconds. Here he is.
Yeah, if we are 4th or something, it will be the best 4th, 5th. But 10 seconds after the leader, so it will be the best.
Juha Kankkunen, Subaru, his home rally, and determined to show that his win in Argentina was not luck.
Long flat right over crest, 150. Small crest, 150.
Trying a new tread pattern on stage 10 didn't bring the results they were looking for, but he was still consistently quicker than Gronholm. Again, the rough conditions suiting the Subarus, proving that the Pirellis could be equally as good as the Michelins. Following his 2nd place in New Zealand, Kankkunen is still very much in the championship hunt. At the end of special stage 13, he was ahead of Gronholm by a full just 6 seconds.
Sun shining, good weather.
Kankkunen's teammate Richard Burns was 3rd on the road after a decision on leg 1 to lose the lead and deliberately slipped down the order. He hoped for clearer stages.
40 flat right plus, straight 60 flat right, 50 slow flat left, in 100.
Burns' first object was to beat his teammate Kankkunen, and the Englishman's performance was impressing all the Finnish drivers. His lack of experience meant that setting the car up for the jumps was difficult. With his co-driver Robert Reid, Burns would continue to employ all the tactics he could to leave himself in a good position for leg 3. Burns was using Kankkunen's tracks to help show him the way. After stage 13, he was only 5.5 seconds behind the Finn. A loose drinks bottle surprised the Ford Focus driver Thomas Radstrom. Losing time, he was then to experience a mystery loss of power. Despite benefiting from clearer stages, he began to drop back.
Flat right, long easy left. 150. Long crest, 100.
Thomas was driving hard and smooth, but the car was not matching his performance. Having started so well, it was a disappointment as he dropped back. The team engineers started to thoroughly check over the Focus, as the Swedes' rally was by no means over yet. And there it shows Kankkunen, 5.5 seconds. Not long ahead of Burns. Then Gronholm, then Radstrom. Tommi Mäkinen, the master of the Finnish rally, was still focused on getting his 6th consecutive win. The Lancer was running well, but starting with 18 seconds adrift would make it difficult to get on terms with Kankkunen. But Mäkinen regularly beat the times of the Subarus and closed the gap on Kankkunen. He was now only 8 seconds adrift.
2, pitkä oikein nopea, plus helppo aukeaa vähän 8 ylös. Tykkö oikeallaita jatkuu, pitkä helppo vasen miinus. Pirun pitkä oikein täys miinus yli.
The Finn was wondering what he had to do to break into the top 3, but the car was not performing as he'd hoped. A puncture on stage 13, but he was still in the top 6.
We had a little bit problem in the morning, and we started with 2 soft tire compound, and then we had some problem with front suspension, and that was the reason why we went so fast in the morning. But now everything seems to be alright.
Meanwhile, Didier Auriol was finding the Toyota impossible to drive. Even on straight sections, the Frenchman found the car difficult to control. Having started the leg with over 20 seconds to the leader, he began dropping away. Only failing to finish in the points once this year, things were not looking good for Auriol. In the hope of improving the situation, both front and rear differentials were changed, but the team didn't seem sure as to where the problem was. Let's hear from the Toyota team manager.
There seems to have been some form of imbalance in the transmission there somewhere.
But determined not to give up, Auriol returned but couldn't get anywhere near the times of the leading cars. With over half the rally run, he was nearly 2 minutes behind. 7th on the road, the Seat of Harry Rovanperä. The newly styled and tuned Cordova had looked impressive on leg 1, and the Finn would begin to climb the leaderboard.
5. Pidä oikein täyskirraa ylös. Jatkaa huomioon. Nyppy keskeltä sisälle.
However, he found it difficult to find his rhythm. Understeer at the rough stages took their toll on the Seat Pirellis, and he could not stay with the leading group. By the end of stage 13, he was over 40 seconds away. A 10-second penalty had given to Carlos Sainz for the jump start at the end of leg 1. But having changed the suspension settings, the Corolla had begun to fly. Toyota's hopes now rested on the ever-popular Spaniard.
We changed slightly the car, and I can push a little bit more now.
And he certainly did, with clear roads and having found a good setup. He outpaced everyone, faster and faster and faster and faster. 9, 10, 11 and 13 were Sainz's. Climbing the leaderboard with each stage, it was a stunning drive by the Spaniard. Soon he was only 1.8 seconds behind Ur Kankkunen. After the first 8 cars, though, it was Kankkunen a whisker in front of Sainz, Burns and Gronholm. As the excitement and the tension mounted at the top of the leaderboard, could 9th man on the road, Colin McRae, join the fray. Despite it being only the second time that he had driven the leg 2 stages, he was feeling confident with the Focus. McRae launched into the attack, and the Scotsman moved up the leaderboard.
100, cage, jump, into slight left over jump, and 6 left tightens, and 6 right over crest, into left over crest.
An early brake problem was solved, but a stall on stage 12 lost him valuable seconds. he managed to finish in the top 6, 45 seconds from the lead car. But one thing is certain, the notorious finish jumps were taking their toll on the Ford car. Meanwhile, Francois Delacour could not come to terms with the terrain and gradually lost ground.
Bref, gauche 110 bon. Gauche 110 bon, bref. 100 mètres, gauche 110 corde. 110 bon, bref, okay. Bon, voir. Gauche 110 corde. 110 corde, ouais. 100 mètres, 125 long corde. 130 mètres, gauche 90 bon, tard.
On stage 12, a broken differential lost him nearly a minute.
Gauche 125, 50 mètres à 105 cordes. Droite 105 cordes. Puis gauche à fond.
He was so far behind, he could only use the remainder of the rally to gain information for next year. Tony Gardemeister, after a disappointing first leg, ran straight into trouble with a spin. This happened here on stage 8. Differential trouble reared its head again. Nevertheless, the car was showing that it had a pace for the third fastest time on stage 12. He still, though, was over 2 minutes behind. More still to come on today's finish rally in just a moment. Special stage 14, a very special stage. It's the longest in the rally, 34 kilometres, and it's a Rally Finland legend, and it's a legend that's on it as well, Tommi Mäkinen. He's looking for his 6th successive Finnish rally victory, and he started this stage really going for it. But I'm afraid it's all over for him as far as this one is concerned, barring, of course, the televised final stages. It was a transmission problem that's denied him his 6th victory in a row. Let's hear from the Mitsubishi team director.
Well, it seems just about 16 kilometres into stage 14, he was braking for a junction, lining the car up, and seemed to lose the drive. You know, it's something at the final end of the drivetrain, which would suggest something about the clutch or clutch shaft, something like that.
Well, don't forget, you can see him again tomorrow on British Eurosport, 2 o'clock British time, 3 o'clock Central European time. He'll be out in those final televised stages. But Didier Auriol here with the Toyota. Well, there was damage for his car as well. 2nd in the Drivers' Championship he is. He said the car was impossible to drive, turning on its own even when he was on a straight. In special stage 14 here, hit a rock and punctured the left front tyre. Thomas Radström, the Ford Focus, the Swedish driver, arrived at special stage 14 with damage to the front of his car on the driver's side, and as you saw just before, the rear window missing. He lost more than 10 minutes. Carlos Sainz, who got 4th fastest time, had a spin and lost 8 seconds to the fastest time, but he's still 2nd behind the 2 Subarus. Here's Carlos.
Why was that last stage so hard? 2 drivers went out.
Just very slippery.
That's the only reason?
Yeah, I think so.
Now, Tommy's one of those drivers out of the rally. First time in 6 years he's not going to win. How does that change things in the championship?
Well, for the championship, I think first of all we have to wait until tomorrow, and then we will see how it changes.
Will it change the way that you attack this rally at all, or is it maximum attack all the way?
It's maximum all the time.
Attack, and this man can as well. Kankkunen. The Subaru team has benefited from all the dramas to the others. No problem for the Subarus. Faster time for Juha Kankkunen, who has been leading since the 2nd stage of the day. Meanwhile, Richard Burns with the other Subaru had found that Kankkunen was 5 seconds faster than him. Subaru perhaps looking to repeat the Rally of Argentina with a 1st and 2nd. Good on home. Well, Carlos Sainz seems to be the last challenger for the Subaru, because Marcus Gronholm, fourth on the stage, will be 5 minutes late at the end of the service park. That means 50 seconds penalty. He will lose 1 place. It shows him there in fourth. He will drop to fifth. Colin McRae moves up. But Kankkunen still leads from Sainz and Burns. More coming up right after the break. 5 after special stages 15, 16 and 17. There's Marcus Gronholm with the Peugeot, 1 minute 17 behind the leader in fifth place. Marcus Gronholm was leading after leg 1, and he's lost 4 places due to his bad position on the road. Lost a further 50 seconds after mechanics found an oil leak in the power steering. He's now in a battle with Colin McRae, who's in 4th place. Well, McRae, 57 seconds from 3rd. An excellent day for Colin McRae so far, from 9th this morning to 4th position tonight. Fastest time in the long special stage 15, and in the 2 short special stages 16 and 17. He's got Gronholm behind him now, but let's hear more from Colin McRae.
Colin, the end of the day seemed better than the beginning, would you agree?
Yeah, for sure. We changed the car a bit again today, and I was a lot happier from halfway through the day.
Do you think you'll be able to keep up that tomorrow, and will it actually gain you any places?
I don't think it won't gain us any places, because the next guy's too far in front. So really, we just have to try and defend this place from Gronholm.
Richard Burns, Subaru, handily placed in 3rd. 16 seconds behind the leader. Now, yesterday Burns deliberately dropped back, wanting to run a little down the field, letting the stages getting cleared a bit for him. It's a tactic that looks like it's worked quite well for Richard Burns. Well, let's get his view on the situation so far as it closes at the end of leg 2.
Today I've been able to follow the lines that the others have laid down, especially Juha, and also it's definitely been cleaning a little bit. So if I was running first car, I'd have lost, probably lost twice as much as a Finn being first car.
There's only 3 drivers now, realistically, and with a chance of winning this rally. Do you think you can do it?
I'm going to try like hell tomorrow, yeah, without a doubt. We had some pretty good times over these stages last year, and there's one new one, which may be a little problem for me, but I think running 3rd car should be quite good. If it stays dry, then it'll be a good position to be in.
And don't forget, more of the Finnish rally coming up, 2 o'clock British time on British Eurosport, 3 o'clock Central European time tomorrow, as we see Carlos Sainz with the Toyota in 2nd place tonight, 10 seconds off the leader, Juha Kankkunen. Sainz and Kankkunen have had some battles in the past. One gets the feeling this could go right down to the wire. Here's the Spaniard.
It's your old friend and your old sparring partner, Juha. You and he have had lots of battles together. What do you know about him that gives you the advantage?
Well, I think he knows everything about me, and I know everything about him, as you said. I think it's depending a lot in the car, depending a lot in many things.
But it's a local boy on top of the pile, Juha Kankkunen, the Subaru. He'll try to win tomorrow, no doubt about that. His 23rd victory in a WRC event. It will be the 2nd this year after Argentina. But Carlos Sainz wants to join him at the top of the Roll of Honour of 22 victories. Here's Kankkunen.
10 seconds behind you is Carlos Sainz. Nobody knows him better than you. What would you do if you were in his position?
Yeah, I know Carlos very well, and it's not first time when we are fighting like that. But, Carlos will not give up. He will fight up to the last kilometer of the stages, that's for sure. And it's good. It's good fight for sure tomorrow, and a lot of things for the people to see as well.
Are you confident of a 2nd win this year?
I feel all right at the moment. We will see tomorrow how fast I can go, but I tried my best anyway. That you can be sure.
So what a fantastic finish it could be on the 3rd day. 10 seconds between Kankkunen and Sainz. Burns just 16. Richard Burns could do it. If it ends in tears somewhere, so too could Colin McRae. In the Formula 2 classes, after leg 2, Tapio Lankinen, Kaito Leto, and then Alistair McRae in third. And don't forget, tomorrow 2 o'clock, the real action, the televised action at the end of the event. From me, Tony Delahunty, good night.